So I guess, what do you want to start with, lighting?
Lighting was just, we're adding it back in.
All
Yeah,
this
because
cross out,
it was completely wiped out.
yeah.
Right. And the other section that we wanted to talk about was signs.
So all the stuff that, you don't have anything in lighting right now, right? For lighting,
Right now, no.
okay. So all that stuff that's in red that's crossed out, that's what's going back in.
I think we're gonna put that back in as is, and then, once I've gone back and forth about the dark skies a little bit more, we'll edit that for the meeting, town meeting,
Okay,
to fit with the standards that are required for lighting.
Yeah.
3856.
Worth noting, I think the Heritage Trust has done some work on the night sky stuff also.
Yes, they are.
You know,
They have-
create the wheel with that.
Right, they have someone who's researching other ordinances and what we would need to have in writing to make it work. And, yeah, really.
What will they do? Put something together like the Heritage Trust.
I'm gonna be working with them and trying to attend their meetings. So that I can kind of have a heads up to stuff, but yeah, I think they're just gonna present me with like an example ordinance that we can then approve, edit, how we want to.
yeah, we just gotta make sure, cause I know, was it last year when we were presented with some ordinances? Other town ordinances, some of them, to me, were absolutely ridiculous as regards to the restrictions that they were putting on homeowners, and I 100% disagree with some of it. So we just gotta make sure it's not so restricted. Like one was even, yeah, the Christmas lights down by January. I'm sorry,
That's a state law.
Is it the
That's
state
a
law?
state of Maine law. It's ridiculous.
You can have like
It's a-
twinkle lights out.
You do not have Christmas, everybody does, but you're not supposed to have Christmas lights out. It's like mid-January.
I didn't know that.
It's a mis-
It's cold, it's cold to God, they're
They're frozen.
And the-
They're icicle, they're real icicle
It's kind of
lights.
dangerous to get on the roof of that.
That's kind of, what about, like, I've always been in the mindset, I'm putting up permanent LED lights and just change the color for whatever holiday.
Yeah, I think there was, well, so we just gotta make sure it's not.
I
Yeah.
think the lady that was
Wonders.
pushing real hard for the lighting ordinance, she doesn't like people having lighting on their docks during the summer or any of that business, and that kind of is a
That-
safety
That's
issue.
a safe.
That's something, yes, people like me fall in.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
No, but I mean, the location of the dock, there's certain cases where you want to have some sort of, like, we have one at the Loon Lodge, just because when snowmobilers are out there in the middle of the lake and it's wind blow or whatever, that light stays on 24/7 because they're like, okay,
It's a beacon.
it is,
It's a
it
beacon.
sends you right to safety, right to the ramp, right to, you know what I mean? So there are certain cases where you're gonna want,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know,
They have that at the trail at the Foster Cairns.
right,
Yeah.
just so you know,
It's a beacon.
because you can get disoriented on
Yeah.
a 6,000 acre lake
In
at
the
night.
daytime, you get a little bit twisted around if you're not out there very often.
Right, for sure, so,
And
Are you
it looks
serious?
different on a snowmobile than it does a boat.
It certainly
100%.
does. 100%.
I don't know why that is, but. Okay, so we'll put that stuff back in it and then look at what the Heritage Trust is doing.
Yeah, and, that was a note that I had already added and Avcog put it back in as it was written there in the red.
with no change into the wording.
She basically just changed it back to black and took the strike out of it, looks like.
Now signs.
So there's the tab on signs, just for where most of the edits are, but signs actually starts on 3871.
Rain will be on his way shortly.
Forget that was how it was. So I think one of the things with signs was Tom was looking at sizes for signs.
Yeah. Tracy, do you recall the discussion for the signs down at Sargis? And
Yes,
they were
the soldiers
waiting.
wanted the lit up sign like New Sally has. Actually, New Sally's sign question never been approved. I don't know
It
if it's way outside of anything that we is allowable,
Mhm.
but it's there now.
Yeah.
So, I know I could go back through previous notes, because Tom did talk about, actually, when they were getting a conditional use permit, that was part of it. Switching for a conditional use permit, it would say size that was allowed, and I know that they touched on lighting as well, because they wanted the digital sign as did Water Supply. I have to pull the conditional use and look at it.
Just getting into this, I mean, it says that animated signs with movement and animated displays with movement or flashing signs are prohibited, with the exception of time and temperature. I just part of me think, was it supposed to be the sun? I don't know. It was, I know certain conditions that it would only flash so often. As part of the discussion, I know that we have.
That's in here somewhere.
Yeah, they talked about they could only scroll through no more than one time
Yeah.
for 60 minutes or something.
Where's
I read,
that?
I read it last night.
We've got to make sure that if we implement the dark night sky at anything, we put in the sign ordinance,
Yeah,
that's counterproductive to that also.
electronic message signs. The message may be changed no more frequently than once every 20 minutes
What's the,
for 3880. For a total of 3 times each 60-minute period. And then it gives you color specifications. White, gold, or red.
okay, so that's right. It was where it was allowed. So with that, let's make sure we,
I don't know about you, but that seems like 3 times in an hour does not seem like very much.
It's not. Because if
It
you watch
seems-
anything,
it
there was
seems
something
kinda
in here
crazy
too
to
about
me.
like temperature. I read the whole thing about like the bank, because you have one at the bank that changes from temperature to time.
those are permitted.
Like that's permitted, that's totally different. But like the scrolling one, like the Moose Alley or whatever, that thing rolls through.
Continuous.
Right.
Right, so just a note,
That's the only one in town, so it's the only one you can pick up.
yeah, but if we
Right.
go to that, it's in the commercial, the downtown commercial industrial district, that we need to update on page 3873. that except for in those districts.
You say that one more time.
I'm on page 3873, says that they're prohibited with the exception of time and temperature. But we need to add in there, and except for is it commercial, downtown commercial, and industrial.
My pages are different with the additional edits.
So the once every 20 minutes, the side note says that keeping up with state statute.
See, but then read the one about that. It contradicts itself.
All right, give me an example of this, because I'm not thinking of one. Any business establishment located within Commonwealth Peninsula which does not front or face upon a state or state aid highway and which does not have a freestanding or wall sign fronting or facing upon a state or state aid highway may, in the district so permitted, which would be the commercial or whatever, locate 2 signs off the business premises.
The logic one. Is that kind of what we're talking about, or maybe the, I don't know, is Quill Place still open down here on Pleasant Street? I don't think so. I think that's all.
Basically, they could have a sign on Route 4. Because they're not on Route 4, so
They're off.
Oh, they're just directional signs. I still got the flashing signs.
Gotcha.
Never mind, sorry.
So, just to go back to what you said, you want an exception for commercial, downtown commercial, and
So, well, it's in here, it's written up as electronic message signs. That they are allowed in the commercial district, downtown commercial district, and industrial district. I mean, is there a difference between an animated sign and a message board sign? They're kind of the same thing, aren't they?
And some of them are just fixed. They just have like an LED that's one thing all the time.
School.
That won't change. And then the other ones scroll,
Mhm.
like scroll through or whatever.
and even like they have the ones now that look like a TV. Like it's got full color pictures on
Is it
them.
Auburn, Auto Road, or whatever it is? Auburn has got, they're all over the place. It's like driving down the Vegas Strip.
Yeah. So that, like, we're trying to keep.
So that's what you're
things like
talking
that.
about in this, is what an animated sign is.
Yes.
Yeah, like the.
Probably
whatever.
anything that moves.
It's the difference of changing constantly and not changing once every 20 minutes.
Okay, so just, can we just make sure that in the definitions, that's clear? Because if I'm sitting here thinking that they're kind of the same thing. I don't.
They're not the same. One would
But
be just like an open sign that's.
Well, what she's saying is the animated, so those are prohibited, like the big TV ones would be prohibited, and the electronic message. I don't know, it's animated, it goes.
Still animated.
So that's, to make sure that, those are at least allowed, but
One could be called the scroll and one is an animated.
yeah,
Just make sure that there's a definition defining.
yeah, I mean, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but. There's many others out there like me. Was there anything else that really popped out at you? I know he had some serious.
Okay, so one thing that Tom had. Current standard for maximum size for an open banner is 15 square feet. I like the idea of sticking with that. What do planning board members think?
And the banner's gonna say that they were, you only allow 14 consecutive days. Banners and pennants are allowed provided they display for no longer than 14 consecutive days. Signed permit for each.
Just not in a spot where he has that now. This sign section, there's maybe a cross.
Banner limited. to
Oh, I see where you're
25
looking.
characters.
I see where you're looking here.
Let's see, 24. Well, 15 square feet, that's not right.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
It's like even some, just our like banners for Snowdio people, when we put them up for Snowdio on the wall and everything else, a lot of those banners are 4 by 20 right out of the gate. They're 4 feet tall by 20 feet long. Which would mean we're
I
over,
wonder if that.
slightly over.
That might fall under something different because this is talking about banners for a business.
Yeah, if it's a banner for a business, then 15 square feet. I mean. And again, that still goes for the 14 days, right? I just know when things go back to normal and they start having events, we're gonna want big banners daily.
No, I totally understand. I'm trying to figure out what this.
24 foot is
Do we want banners for somebody being open during the day?
not necessarily.
What do you consider those big flaggy things everybody puts out?
For the big light.
The big.
Right.
Like open flags?
That they're 12 foot tall.
Yeah, they're an awkward shape, so they probably fit that.
They probably would
And they
say
don't stay out for 14 consecutive days. And that's one of those things where they're
Talking about
putting
like
it out.
flagpoles?
You know what kind I'm talking about, like what they have, like at the Hungry Trout, that flag they put out there at the. But Jake's right, they don't leave them out for 14 consecutive days.
Not
That's-
necessarily, it's taken down.
Could probably be construed as a banner.
I think this was more like, if we have, say, we have like a promotion or something, and we're issued a banner from the manufacturer, it's nice to put it out and have it out on display so people can see that promotion or whatever, but it also doesn't stay up for
I think that's.
6 months,
It's situations like that. That's what I feel like this banner is.
Yeah.
Because It's giving it as an exception to other signs that aren't exist.
Right.
So I don't think it's the same as like event banners, which I don't see anything specifically about that. Let me ask you this, it's been a while since I've been to Snowdale. Where do you guys put the banners?
We
Right.
we put them, well, our whole building, basically. So what's happened in years past is, like, we do a controlled demo ride. So I make an alley with all my snowmobile crates, and I make it so like the general public doesn't mix in with the people riding my demo sleds,
Yeah,
because we have to control the demo. So a lot of the crates get lined up down through. Typically, business banners and sponsors all go on the crates. And then we have that big snow mountain where the people are landing their snowmobiles on. We put all the banners up on, they're temporary. They're only there for 3 hours, 4 hours. On Saturday when we do our event, they're all over the side of that snow banking. And then the whole side of the loony bin, basically the whole wall of the loony bin gets.
I feel
bannered
like
up.
that seemed, to me, that would be an exception because it's for an event.
It's for an event and it's very,
also a day.
it's a temporary, like the ones that go on the actual building itself, they might sit up there for a week or two after Snowdio, but typically they're down because people want their banners back and they want to put them back away. Because they spent a lot of money for them, they don't want them,
Right.
blowing around in the winter, so.
I don't.
But
think
we're
that
not
even-
putting them like up and down Route 4 and all over the place. The only one that goes on the corner of Loon Lake Road and Route 4 is the snowmobile clubs. Welcome to Snowdio banner, which is the
Yeah.
club banner.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's out where it would be any sort of.
Yeah, I don't think that's even what that's addressing at all.
No,
With the 15 square feet.
no, 15 square feet is keeping,
I'm thinking like open flags,
right,
like some type of event that a restaurant is doing, things like that. Like karaoke night banners or whatever.
right. No, you want to limit, definitely. I think 15 square feet is adequate.
Yeah, I think for those things.
Is it written anywhere in here as far as events go?
So maybe under
Should we add
point
something?
1.8, the banners and pennants are allowed provided they are paid. That, so from our understanding, that is more events. Correct? Am we on the same page there?
Actually, the way I turned it.
Okay, so maybe we just put event. Just put event in there, event banners and.
Do you mean for the 18?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would want to keep this banner, that the 12, that banner, we're gonna go with 15 and that's we're considering for business banners, and then 18 we want to specify for event banners.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
But you still want to keep that 14 consecutive days attached
Yes.
to number 12 too.
Yeah, it's written right there. I'll add that.
Yeah, it's not actually. We can't have any banners, no signs that are balloons. I saw that somewhere.
it. Okay, so the question about the size of the message board, the reader boards. Right,
Where are you at?
page 3877. So you will, more or less, are we including the message board as part of the 32 square feet? Or are we allowing to have extra square footage for the reader boards or whatever you call it? And I think.
I think this came into play with Sergeant Sign too, because they had discussions about it being unsafe out there on a ladder in the winter trying to change out the, you know, the snap-in letters that they have on their current sign.
They make a fancy pole.
I'm not sure if that's what the.
They make a fancy pole, they make a fancy pole.
I don't think Batman should do it's cold.
Yeah, they have a fancy pole.
No.
Yeah, a fancy pole. It's pretty nice.
Do you remember that conversation? Yeah.
And it was because they had no other place to put something like that than up there.
Right. So there was discussion about the size and allowing them to have messages. I'll have to pull a conditional use permit because we hashed a lot of this out.
Right, like if they want an actual
Yeah,
display, digital display,
yes.
they have to get a
exactly.
permit for it in
Saturday
advance.
karaoke and-
You can't just let everybody pop a,
Mhm. Yeah, and I do believe that their sign requirements was built right into their conditional use.
right,
I think we're in agreement with 32 square feet. They need to incorporate the signboard within that 32 square feet.
and that's maximum sign amounts per building or lot or whatever. It's 32, which is 32 square feet of that,
4x6. 8 by 4x8.
4 by 8. It is, that's small. And I guess how would that get handled in a situation where, say, we're a franchise for Arctic Cat, Skidoo, Can-Am, Evinrude, we have all these different vendors that we buy product from, right? Their sign requirements for us to fit into their dealer programs are, all right, you have to have a 4x4 Arctic Cat sign. Then I have to have a 4x6 Can-Am Sea-Doo Ski-Doo sign. And then what do I do with the rest of my signs?
You don't put
What's
those,
into your, well,
those aren't considered part of your signage, though. Your signage is what you have out by the road, correct?
That's what it is. Like the big poles that I have out front, we just took every sign off it because everything's getting redone. But like when we go to put them back up, if we're 32 square feet, I think
it might be part of your conditional use permit too.
I'd have to find
Because,
out.
I mean, if it's a
I mean, I don't
requirement
know.
by being a vendor, then that, to me, that would be it. Conditional.
You know what I mean? I just know when there's,
No.
because like builder supply is builder supply.
Mhm.
They have
Right.
one sign for builder supply and then one sign for lawn building for home interior, or whatever that is.
Right.
But like most places on Main Street or in town are one blue flame is blue flame.
So,
Like-
to me, that would be your
Part of your
part of your conditional use permit to allow more signage. We don't want to give everyone more signage because then we're gonna have people just putting up crazy signs.
No, right. Right.
I don't think so. It wasn't when that came in.
Oh, wasn't it?
I unlocked it.
I just came in.
Oh,
Yeah, I just wanted, I just thought I heard something, I just don't know if Brian, he shouldn't have to walk over on the way back here.
So yeah, if that's a normal,
So you wanna have that 12 square feet be part of the 32 square feet?
I think.
they're gonna have to get conditional use permit anyways. For the light and,
Well, this is even like for the non-lighted
Right.
message boards.
Yep.
Unless we put a size limit on the message.
Well, there is, that's the 12. Even if it's outside of the 32, it still is limited to 12.
to 12 square feet.
It's just determining if it's within the 32 or it doesn't have to be within the 32.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't take some time and maybe Google what some of these signs look like so we can.
See what the dimensions
before we start
are.
making solid decisions.
That's why I thought, I can't see adding to it and making it.
Okay, how about, I just wanna get something, I'm concerned about getting to that ordinance committee. How about we table signs, signs can wait until June with lighting adjustments and alternative energy adjustments. And I wanna look at those definitions for industrial today. So that,
Add something. Because we don't want,
We don't want to make it so restrictive that people can't. But we've got some nice looking signs in range. Like it's.
we absolutely do, but we also don't want to look like.
right,
No, and that's like, so. That's like how we, like our signs that we have down there. Every one of those units that are in that setup, they're all designed to be illuminated from inside. They all have lights inside them, we don't have lights. We have the two little lights at the very top that have the little halos that just point down. You know what I mean? So you're not driving through Rangeley and seeing a bright yellow, bright green, bright orange, big beaming lights in the middle of town, you know, there's two little lights. You can see it in the daylight, that's when most of the customers are moving around. It's, you know, it's not like driving through Farmington where all those plastic signs are illuminated. You can, you know.
doesn't really make sense for them to be illuminated at night, you guys aren't open, so. what's
No,
the
it would
matter?
be, I just, honestly, I think
The
that would
open
look
sign is
horrible.
always lit open.
Which one? The open sign,
Your open sign is always lit open.
24/7,
I know.
I never shut my phone on,
But no, seriously, it's always illuminated red.
because I'm always up.
Okay, just a quick note before we go to the definitions for industrial. The alternative energy stuff, since we don't have anything in place yet, we're not even gonna put a section into reserve or the definition in yet, so we can have some time to research that. Shelley suggested, both Kristen and Shelley suggested that we just not even put it in as a reserve section right now. It's not gonna mess up with the numbering too much, that one part, 'cause we're putting it at the end of one section, so. Just so you guys are aware of that. But then the definitions for light industrial and heavy industrial. And the red is definitions that Tom found at some point. It's your last tab.
is there other definitions for these?
Yeah, they all look so
It's still like, I know it says it's not includes, but it's not limited to. And it's very, then it's very specific. Now, I understand we can't capture everything, but I just feel like there might be a better definition. I could be wrong, maybe I'm just nitpicking it, but
Well, but the cement plants have gotten into some trouble with these definitions.
Yeah. I mean, it's more examples of each than. What do you think?
I have a few samples here, just quickly skimming them. This one makes sense to me. Heavy industrial means manufacturing of products primarily extracted of raw materials for cold storage and handling of such products and materials which pose significant risk due to the involvement of explosive, radioactive materials, pesticides, and other hazardous materials. Uses in this category typically involve more intense impacts associated with large industrial uses, their history, outdoor storage uses in large building areas. This use category includes, but is not limited to, wrecking yards, building material manufacturing, chemical plants, concrete and asphalt plants, and freight facilities. That's heavy industrial.
That is,
It's pretty close to what we have for definition. What was different about it?
then what he has right here,
What do we currently have as a definition?
it's very short. It says heavy industrial use which do not meet the definition of light industrial.
Oh, God, yeah.
Kind of useless. And then we will-
See, I like that definition.
So,
I mean, it's more, it's specific of the process of what heavy industrial is and.
okay.
I don't know.
If you like that one, I can add it in as a suggestion.
Brian, we turned to page 3896.
It's your last tab.
The last one. We're looking at heavy industrial. I mean, maybe put that in there and keep what he has as like an add-on or something.
I don't think it's necessary to have both, to be honest with you.
I just like what you read to me much better than what's,
It's a little more descriptive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are we just defining light and heavy industrial?
Yes.
Is that necessary?
The cement plant says that it is.
What is the definition that you have? What is the definition you have for light industrial?
I get one from this thing.
Do you like our old heavy industrial term?
It's whatever.
Heavy industrial uses which do not meet the definition of light industrial.
That is.
That sounds like a government operation to me.
Okay, I have one here. Light industrial use means the use of building or structure for the purpose of manufacturing, processing, fabrication, assembly, treatment, packaging, and incidental storage of goods and materials, provided that all activities are conducted within a wholly enclosed building and that operations do not involve any furnaces or machinery that emit noxious fumes or gases, discharge dirt, dust, or harmful matter into the air and result in noise or vibration.
I like that one better too.
Yeah, I like that one better too.
You like my 30-second Googling better than, I don't know where Tom got these from.
It says you got them from the something book, a planner's dictionary.
These ones that I'm finding are out of a legal definition booklet.
I just think they're more cases, they're more descriptive. All right, we decided we're gonna table the lights until the June meeting.
Lights.
Lights.
Signs.
Signs, sorry,
Signs.
signs.
Okay.
I mean, lights too.
Signs.
Lights got put back in as written in the red in
Okay.
there. And then they'll be adjusted in June or for June.
All right, are we good with all that?
Did you have any comments or questions
No,
since last meeting?
but I did go over quite a bit of this. Look. You put in an awful lot of work into that, stay right,
Yes.
I give you credit.
Well, a lot of this was Tom and AvCog, so I can't take too much credit.
You bet.
Rich?
Yeah.
Have you stopped recording? All right, we're gonna open the meeting to the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No public to speak on non-agenda item. So review minutes from October 28th. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented for October 28th, 2020.
I will second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Yeah, it's nice to get time to make the motions without all the notes from the workshop. Also, since you're making motions for the workshop.
Okay.
Just as a suggestion.
I will make a motion to accept all of the recommended changes from the workshop on October 28th.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Is that fine, or do you want more specific?
Works for me.
Is there any correspondence? No. Okay, so new business, subdivision application, Rainy Lake Resort Cabin. We have an application in front of us. And a plan. Bailey, have you looked through everything? It's a completed application?
Yes.
So with the subdivision changes, the subdivision plan, we will have to have a public hearing. So do you want to do like a brief overview now and then maybe something that's a little bit more in depth for the public hearing?
Is it, so this question will go to board?
Wherever you want to. There's nobody zooming in, so.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna, I don't mind, well, I try to hold it if that works. So what we're looking at here is Cottage Avenue, the Rangeley Lake Resort Cottages. On the left-hand side, as we're going down the street on Cottage Road. They're on the left-hand side, they were constructed in 2012. And we were approached by Festiva to bring forward this, which is basically no construction, which is kind of a unique subdivision. There's no construction associated with it. Since the cabin's already built, the drive's already built, but they wanted us to subdivide. So as part of that process, we of course need to bring through the planning process here through a subdivision process. We are also doing a revision to the SLOTR application, stormwater application. Just for adding the lines effectively. We're not making any changes to the buffers. We're not making any. There's just no more impervious, no additional impervious or anything areas. So really, it's just lines on here. A couple of changes that will happen is the individual cabins will have their own LP tanks, liquid propane tanks. Currently, they both share, two cabins share a common tank currently. Those will be removed and individual ones will be placed at the individual cabins. We will also be, since they have a common drive, we've created descriptions for their common drive so they can have that inside their covenants so that they can begin to, so they can share those and not be part of their covenant. We are looking for a waiver and setbacks on one of the two cabins, the cabin 41 and 40. Because of the current positioning that they are now, the setback from the locations are going to be too close. We're close to that moving cabin. And I believe we are meeting all other requirements of the subdivision. This is also one plan is a slight impact on the buffer, which occurred after construction, not by the driveway. And so what I'm referring to specifically is near cabin 42, there's a slight impact on the buffer. A minor revision, sort of revision was done in 1996, 95, 96. We revised our as-bills then. Let's say 96, so 16. Gosh, I'm starting to show my age, aren't I? Sorry, 2016, we revised the as-bills for those, and that was approved. Approval letter should also be in the packet. Since they did not require any changes to the plan, but they just basically give us a approval letter, so they're aware.
I know I have that map. Which one is it?
Yeah.
You do. Just have a little bit to-
There's been a few submissions for the last 8 years or so.
So you're looking for the setback for lots 3 and 4, you said?
For 40, 41. So the existing configuration of those cabins is pretty close, and way to really make those lots.
When I was looking at this,
Yep.
was this originally like, there's like eight parcels here?
No, those.
Was that,
See, I thought this was already.
this was the older.
Right, and those are contours going down the slope.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with,
No, those
It
are
wasn't like
basically, I believe.
eight lots. let's get the, well, yeah, it does.
Oh, they're 5 foot buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was sort of question. I didn't understand the code I was reading last
Yeah, no, they were never subdivided. They were part of the homeowners, well, not homeowners, but they were part of the association, basically the overall condo association that's there. So now they'll be kind of taken out of that.
night. They'll have their own association.
Well, I think it's going to be a combination of who's maintaining the roads? I don't believe, I believe the association is still maintaining, it's still gonna be an HOA, but they won't be part of the overall resort anymore. And currently, if you look at the resort, I believe there is private ownership in the current resort as well.
Yeah.
But the remainder of those condos are also inside of, that community agreement. But it's really, it's not a kind of odd subdivision in the sense that it's subdivision without construction, so.
Anybody have any questions for him? I mean, we will have a public hearing as well. But we do need to put something together saying that we accept it as a completed application, correct? I think that's part of the subdivision work code.
My eyes aren't what they used to be. How much are you looking for the setback?
You're right.
And this should be a commercial. Okay, here we go, 13.2 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was.
It's on the plan also, so that you can
Yes.
have that in the record as well. So
Okay.
we've added in as all the descriptions for the driveways. For how we would, how the descriptions for where we're basically asking, we're also placing a note on it, basically saying that you can't have any additional impacts. Try to get as most on the plan as we can, so that it gets registered, it's easier for people to get back to it. So I should have also been clear with you that they'll be out of the timeshare,
Yeah.
but they'll be probably still part of the homeowners association. So.
If I'm reading this correctly, we have to, as a board, determine that the application is complete. That is not saying that where it's being approved, this is saying that the application is complete, and then we can move on to a public hearing. And all the appropriate fees have been. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I make a motion that it's complete.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Alright, so we'll need to schedule a public hearing. Tracy, is there enough time for the next meeting, or it needs to be in?
What is the, what's, I certainly can't see that calendar here. When's the next meeting?
The 25th, I want to say.
Is that the day before Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Yeah, 25.
Oh, no, we're not doing that.
I think we were gonna have. a meeting
Yeah, we're
that night.
So December 9th, that's plenty of time to, okay, so December 9th. Are you guys, I make a motion that we do a public hearing December 9th at 6 p.m. That was a motion.
A second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So yeah, come on the 9th, just, you'll probably have people come in and ask questions and.
It could be available via Zoom also. just
Yes,
so
Okay, great. Well, I think I'm gonna have to probably bring a solar application so you here for review. I believe I have to submit that here as well, just, somebody may come on. want to look at it, so
What is it?
let's load it, the
Okay.
site law application.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so next on the agenda, I can have that. You're gonna send everything to the ordinance committee, right? Yes, everything besides what's been tabled.
Yes, and then as long as the ordinance committee does not own any major changes, then I can bring it to the board of selectmen.
Okay, so do you guys want to give the ordinances a break till January? Or Mark, or Bailey, do you want to?
I want to look at the timeline for June, but I think January, like, will give me all of December to get some more research about those specific things.
I think it gives us time to look more in depth.
And as I get more information, I can give you stuff as I find it until January, but we can table having any workshops until January.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, does that work for everybody, or do you guys want to continue to meet at 5 until we get it hammered out? Or would you want to get the info?
All I can tell you is that, I don't know what your schedules are, but my schedule goes off the wall pretty soon. And that I'll be relying on you guys to remind me a lot.
Oh, what are we doing?
I agree.
I just, it's gonna
Like
be,
Tuesday, where you said tomorrow, and I said Thursday,
I
like 4
just-
times.
my world is gonna become a zoo
And I
in
think
a heartbeat,
too,
so.
and I think what will help,
I have been reading through it, so I'm getting, I've been getting more acclimated to it, so.
And with
It's
that,
just-
once the ordinance committee has done all their changes, when we present it to board of selectmen, I'm gonna give them the notated version and also what it's going to look like when it's put out to the public without any, showing any edits or anything. So at that point, I can, for January, I can give you guys that one without all this extra editing stuff and just the stuff that we want to edit for June.
Alright.
To make it less
Yeah,
overwhelming that it's the entire chapter.
so at that point, and I don't know what, I know that once we give it to ordinance committee, they give it to the board of selectmen. But like, if we look over it in January, or whatever you're done, do we have time if we see something like, oh shit, we should have added that?
We don't have time for, we wouldn't have time for March, but we would have time to change it for June.
We'll probably do it. All right. Next meeting is going to be December 9th. Make a motion to adjourn.
6 p.m. on the next,
Yes.
second.
Everybody in favor? Yes. All right. Thank you, guys.
Right, you should sign this.
you say 6 p.m.
This is
Yes.
that application.
with no workshop at 5.
No worries.
Just
Public
public
hearing.
hearing.